POS show yo. Yo, it's POS with Pat and Bobby. News so wild it's never sloppy. Talk the truth, don't make it snobby. Who's the POS? We getting choppy. POS show yo.
Yeah, gangster music. We're showing yo. I'll never know the words to that song, but all right, it's our song. It's us. P.S. Real quick, apologies for not having a podcast on Friday, but we were very busy at the casino. And thank you to everyone that came out. Bobby, I know you had a good time. We talked before. It was real fun this weekend.
Great weekend all around. Few hiccups here and there, but we got through them, and it ended up being one of the best weekends I've had this year, man. So thank you very much for the opportunity to get to be a part of it.
What are so many questions, Kevin? What do you got? You throw your questions in there, and we will probably not answer them.
I mean, they call me AI because I am the answer.
They don't. I was there with you all weekend. No one walked over and said AI. Well, not one time.
No, but one going into the elevator, that the albino dude was like, with his prostitute, was like, "Yo, was that the comedian?" And I was like, "That was me. Have a good night. Thanks for coming." And then he went, "We're about to come." And I was just like, "Yes, this is gross. This is disgusting." I sleep in that same room.
Nice, but yeah, it was very cool. The recording went well. We had 4 chances of doing it. There was probably 2 of the shows that definitely could be the album, but the one that I loved. My whole goal at the beginning of Bobby knew this, and everyone in the world was like, "Oh, you're doing 4 shows. You can splice them together." I hate that shit. And also, we're doing video now, so I don't want that anyway. I don't want different shirts and stuff. I think what will be with the video, we'll be showing clips from all the 4 shows. There was definitely very fun crowd work moments of all 4 shows. But yeah, the Saturday 8:00 show was the show. That's going to be the album. I love how I did the jokes. I love the order. I love the audience. I love their energy. Everything worked out really well. We met so many fucking cool people. And I hate to do like thanks and shit because I hate podcasts that do that. But I want to thank the people that came out. I want to thank our boy Metal Horror fan, my super fan dude.
Yeah, dude.
Who was fucking bro. But more importantly, a lot of these fans that were, I don't know of, and not from like Connecticut radio and things like that, were there because of other podcasts that let me go on their show. And I thought that was pretty fucking cool. The Metal Horror guy, he learned of me from Carl and who are these podcasts. So, I mean, Carl's always been fucking amazing to me. It's funny, like on Thursday, Carl goes, or Fridays, like, any chance you can do Friday? And I'm like, I can't because everything was going on with the weekend. But anytime you want me on, he goes, I'll be hitting you up again very soon. Love having you on. And it's like, the guy, this guy was very, very vocal about where he found out about me, and very, very vocal about how much he loves about my comedy and all that stuff. And he's on that podcast, and he's great. But we had about 5 people that said, "I know you from who are these podcasts." And it showed because I did some jokes about Southern John, and they all knew it, and it was great. The Who's Right podcast that I go on with Doug and Anthony, who I love, those two weren't anything. That was the coolest moment. There was a 19-year-old boy with his 50-year-old mom in the front. You and I were both joking with them, whatever. Afterwards, I'm like thanking them for being there. The 19-year-old kid like kisses my ear and goes, "Guess where I heard about you from?" Which is, by the way, terrifying to hear from a child.
Yeah, dude, you don't want to hear that.
Very tired. And I was like, where? And he goes, Who's Right podcast. I was like, holy shit, dude, that's awesome. They're out of like Kansas City and whatever. Like, they're not today or anything. They're awesome dudes. They're great. They always promote. I had people saying they heard me on Steve Nagel and Baxter Nagel Rock 102 in Springfield, Mass. I had people that said they heard me on Star 99.9, doing other people from PLR that knew me there. Basically everything that we do to promote the thing, people came out and saw it, and it was just very awesome. And I had people from my past coming out, people I didn't even really know well, that just knew me from I went to 3 high schools in 5 years, so I'm all over the place. And what was really cool is a ton of people just came out for comedy and told me that I've got new fans, and I saw it through my social media. Everything was climbing. It was very nice. It was a wonderful weekend. I got to spend a lot of time with family and friends and loved ones and everything, and it was very dope. And I just feel really good about what I always call these things, the funerals to my jokes, because this is me saying goodbye to them. And as Bobby knows, I have a new joke that I've now done twice, and it's on the album. I'm probably never going to do it again.
It's gone.
because former guest of the show when we were at POS Mornings, Jen Ritchie, a very funny comic, she came to the show on Thursday, and after she was like going on about, I'm not going to share the joke because it was very. She just goes, "Do you know about? I have one joke about one thing," and she goes, "Oh, you should add this thing. Do you know about this thing?" And she explained what the thing was, and my buddy Dion was sitting there, and Bobby was sitting there, and I could see in their eyes, they're like, "All right, Pat's gonna do something with this," and. By Friday, I kind of did a little bit, but Saturday it was there, and by the last show, it's the closing joke of the fucking album because I was like, it just fits so good in the spot. So thank you, Jennifer, and thank you everyone that came out. Bobby, how was your experience? That was your first time doing a weekend there, staying there. It's an awesome club, man. I know a lot of people say Connecticut, this and that, whatever. To me, casino is an estate; it's its own world. And those guys, Mark, Dan, Brock, everybody, Alexander, all treat you like fucking stars, man. Like they're just great.
I mean, it truly, you hear the horror stories about clubs, particularly at casinos, just because back when like the comedy boom was happening, they weren't like you weren't making them money. Now, dude, I got treated like a rock star and was doing opening on the show and recording. Like I screwed up. They corrected me in a polite, nice way if I did. You know what I mean? Like went out of their way to make me feel welcome and there. You get to spend the weekend at the casino. What more could you want? Got yelled at in the weight room for making too much noise. Was like, should I be like, oh, isn't that your battle cry? And they're like, no, go home. But no, I'm just teasing about that part. But it was an incredible weekend. Watching the same set change from Thursday to Sunday was a truly like eye-opening experience. And I know that phrase gets used a lot, but getting to see how you could craft things and just in a moment where I would be so fucking blinders on, pigeonholed in on one thing was really impressive. Getting to see you be both a comedian and like not just my friend who I do a podcast with every day, like was really cool. And getting a reminder of why you're a Connecticut legend as I plugged you last Monday, because you truly are. Like it's very impressive what you do. Seeing not only how excited it made the people who knew you, but like the people who worked the club was really cool too. They clearly were on your side. That really made it nice. And there was one little hiccup. You want to take the reins?
Well, there was a couple, and we'll the only one we'll get into as a fun thing, but there was a couple hiccups. But real quick, what was also cool, and I gotta say, not only is the staff really cool there because I've known them for so long. Only a couple of them were around when I was the house comedian for that club when they were at Foxwoods and not Mohegan. But one of them, Josh, wanted to be on the Thursday show, and he's never in the club anymore. And he's like, "Dude, I've been knowing you forever. I want to be here." My friend Kaylee, who's always at the shows on Thursday late, she goes, "I want to see you fucking destroy." The waitresses were like asking to be in there for it. They usually want to be in the restaurant part because they're gonna make more money. 3 of the wait staff on Saturday had a day off and came to see my fucking show.
That's really fucking
I mean, and I saw them all in the audience. Like, this is dope. Saturday, 6:00, where my dad and everybody was there. There was a woman's for the show. Do the show first, and then we'll do the other thing.
Yeah, no, I know.
Woman sitting up front, had the look of how would you put it, cunt. And she looked like Lilith from like Cheers, you know what I mean, Frasier and all that stuff. And then she sat next to a guy who looked like a cool dude, like, you know what I mean. And they were right up front, VIP seats. They upgraded to spend the most money to sit right there. As I'm doing my first joke, like literally, she is literally having a conversation with me. As I'm like, has anyone ever been to this casino? I'm going to casino. Kind of look at her and keep going, and it just kept like going back and forth. So in my way, I just went, "Hey, can you kindly shut the fuck up?" And everybody kind of laughed at it. Just shut her up a little. And I kind of moved. She could see her purse piss right away. And my sisters were telling me they were watching her take her pocketbook, put it on, turn into her boyfriend or whatever he is, and go, "We're leaving right now." And I could see him saying to her, "We're not leaving. This is great. I like this guy." He's like, "He's terrible. He just mean." He's like, "Just relax. Just stop talking." So, 10 minutes in, everyone else is having a great time, and I can just see her fucking moping. She's right the fuck up front. So I even turned and I said, "Hey, I apologize earlier if I yelled at you. I just was trying to stop you to talking at the no talking thing. It'd be nice if you understood that, And I go, but you keep looking at me like it's a look that I've divorced." And everybody got laugh at that, whatever. And she goes, "Well, I bet you she fucking left you because you're an asshole. And she left you, haha." And everybody's like, "Okay." And I'm like, "Well, no one's ever left you before?" And she goes, "No." I go, "Well, I bet you they're psyched you're gone." And everybody kind of laughed at that. And I moved on to my other shit and kept continuing doing my act, and about with 3 minutes left in the show, she finally convinced him to fucking leave, which is crazy. Like with one more joke left, she convinces him to leave. And I'm in the middle of starting to joke, and I just turn and I go, oh, thank God they're fucking like, dude, a thunderous applause.
Highlight of the show.
Yeah, it was very fun with that whole thing there. I mean, she kind of like messed with the crowd's energy because they were paying attention to her and her actions. It was a fun show. Every crowd was fun, but you know, it could have been better if we had one less bitch. But when we did the weekend, we had one show on Thursday, we had one show on Friday, and one show on Saturday. The Saturday shows were 6 and 8 o'clock. It's a different time than most clubs do. They try to remind people constantly of the times in case they go, because you get in a rhythm of 8 o'clock, and then you can just naturally, even though you're told, go, oh, it must be 8 and 10. You know what I mean? So they try to let you know, like, hey, don't be late. And I was spending my whole day with my son and my girlfriend and my daughter and my daughter's boyfriend Taylor, who's awesome, and we were all just hanging out and stuff. And then I broke off from them because they were going to come to the 8 o'clock show, and they were doing shit. And around like 5:30, I got down to the club, and I even messaged you a little bit earlier, like, hey, you gonna go down earlier today because they're gonna be busier and all. It's gonna be open. I knew he opened. My boy Jim Spinato was doing his comedy magic thing, and I know he does that at the matinee, so I knew that they were gonna have the doors open. You'd be fine. And you were like, yeah, taking care of buddy, whatever. We had a little communication back and forth, no big deal. I get down to the show, and all weekend you had been down there earlier, making sure your sound equipment set up, all these things like that. So usually you were beating me to the club or about the same time. I got there around 5:30. I walked in, talked with everybody, and then I asked Alexander, the sound guy, have you seen Bobby? He's like, no, I haven't. And I said, okay, you know. And I go, well, I just hope he remembers it's 6 o'clock. And I didn't want to be the dick to go, remember it's 6 o'clock, because, like, you know, I want to treat you like an adult. But I'm also a dad, and I'm also that kind of person to go, hey, fucker.
Like, also, your weekend. Yeah, you don't want to be thinking about me. Yeah,
and I know everyone kept saying that, and I appreciated that. But in the moment, this was just me doing a weekend. I know we were recording it. I know we're doing whatever. But, like, I'm happy with the outcome, but I would have been the same way, no recording. And I was trying to, like, make sure that you didn't feel the stress of things. So how are you not going to? You're trying to record, trying to perform, you're trying to help out your friend, you're doing 2 jobs at once. You have 2 jobs, and you're doing them both. And you're not Jamaican. You talk about it, but you're not, so it's a lot to do a lot of work. So about 5:50 rolls around, and they start dead on time. They have to. At 8 o'clock, they do show, band. So they got to get moving. They got to do a turnover in the first or second show. You're doing 15 minutes all weekend. I'm doing an hour all weekend, and they're very happy with the times because usually everyone's pushing 90 minutes, and I was like, we don't need 90 minutes. We'll do this. We'll give you time to do whatever. We're getting our things out. We're going great. And 5:50 rolls around, and Alexander's like, where is he? I'm like, I'm sure he's on his way. Around like 5:53, I think is what I texted you and said, yeah, on your way? And you're like, and all you wrote was like, yeah, I'm on my way. Well, no other details or anything. At 5:55, the sound guy comes back to the green room and goes, is he here? And I go, no. He's like, well, we have to start at 6. I go, we're definitely starting at 6. He's like, what do I do? Because they play this song. They play a Cheers theme song. They have a video. They play them in comedy clubs. It's like a 2-minute thing. He goes, I do that at 5:58. I go, you're doing it at 5:58. And he goes, well, what if Bobby's not here? I go, if Bobby's not here, I'm going on stage and I'm doing an hour and 15 minutes, and the first 15 is about how I feel about Bobby right now. And then I'll do my set. And he's like, all right, but what if something's wrong with Bobby? I go, well, then I will still do that set, and then I'll feel bad, I guess, afterwards. And then he goes, okay, fine. And he goes, but wait, if I say your name, do I say your name or say Bobby's name? You say Bobby's name. Because that way I can come out and go, I'm not Bobby, and here's the fuck what happened. So, yeah, you just do it regardless. And he goes, what are you going to do? I go, I'm going to open up the green room door and stare across this huge fucking cowboy bar and hope I see a little man with his little strut putting through, holding all these wires. And so at 5:59, I see your head. And I think I don't have to really wave. I kind of move my hands, but I think you can feel my stare. Like, get the fuck in here. And you came in, you're like, hey, buddy. So I'm like, don't worry about it. I gotta take a breath, get the fuck on stage. By the way, and all weekend, I know, Bob, you were trying to figure out the best way to introduce me and stuff. But, like, in my head the whole time, I was laughing at it. Because you were like, I've told you I don't really like credits. And you were still trying to do credits. You're trying to figure shit out. If you were in the casino this weekend, you know my face. My face was all over that casino. And I was getting recognized a lot. It was cool. Like, people just from the record thing, but also after the shows, people screaming to me in restaurants. It was a very cool weekend. I'm not gonna lie. The ego fucking felt really good. The balls got tickled really nice. But, like, your way of bringing me up was you might know him from the advertisements in the casino. And I did say to you when you got there, don't do that. I'm not a missing cat. I don't fucking need you, the people to be looking for me. Just bring me up. And I don't know, not that you didn't do poorly the whole week. I'm never going to say that. But there was an energy change in you. And I don't know if it's because you did better in life when your father yelled at you or what's going on. But when you could feel that I'm not mad, I'm disappointed thing, you had your two best sets of the night.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So where were you?
So
you've kind of told me. You actually told my son way more than you told me. He kind of related because we were busy hanging out afterwards. Where the fuck were you? Where you were late? So everyone knows the hotel is in the casino. Bobby's is a little. There's two hotels. Bobby's was like a little farther away, but literally not even a 10-minute walk away. Like a 7 to 8 minute walk away once you get from elevator to door.
Like it would have been perfectly reasonable for you to assume that you had texted me at 5:53 and I was walking in at 5:59. Like that's how fast I could get to the show if need be. And the good news is I didn't leave the casino. I did go to Norwich earlier in the day just to explore. Nothing to see in Norwich. Stay at the casino was the lesson I learned there. But I left my hotel room shortly after Steph Curry hit the 3-pointer over two people. It might have been 5:33. I was ready to go. My dad and I, that's the one thing we share. We talk about Olympic basketball, both men's and women's. So we were watching the last few minutes of the game together. I get in the elevator on the 10th floor. Everything's fine. We stop at the 9th floor. I go, all right, it'd be nice if we didn't stop again. And boy, did I bite my words, because as a woman is getting on the elevator, she has like one of those big purses. Like with the long thing, it was like cloth. You know what I'm talking about? They usually give them to you at like conferences and it says the shitty name on it.
It's almost like a duffel bag, but it's considered a purse. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's got a giant metal clip and it's like here. So she's carrying it in her hand. It slips. The clip stays on the 9th floor. The elevator's door closed and we start to descend. So now we are being held between this woman's cloth purse and the 9th floor, halfway in between floor, or in the 8th floor.
What the fuck?
Half between floors. And Pat, this isn't the first time in my life this has happened to me. This happened at basketball camp. Somebody dropped the fan and the plug for the fan stayed on the floor and we went up. It was the opposite, but like the elevator freezes and everybody's like,
I've never even heard of this being a thing. I would think the power of the elevator, which by the way, I don't know if you know this, travels at 10.56 miles an hour.
I did not know that, but it does feel fast.
We were hanging out in there, and we were like, and me and my girlfriend and Seamus were in the elevator. We were a little bit on edibles, and we were like, this is moving very fast down there. So my girlfriend and my son both said, we need to go to the top and then time it and then do the math. So we did that. We used the elevator so much. Maybe we broke it and you think it's the clip. Maybe we broke it riding and trying to speed around. But I'm kidding, obviously, because it's an elevator that gets used 8 billion times. No one gets stuck in the elevator but you before you're about to go to a show.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if they've ever heard of this because, Pat, there's a safety switch. So not just your elevator, but the entire side you're on. So now, of the 4 potential elevators, we're down to 2. Eventually, a guy just climbs the stairs. Never did I wish I had stranger's pocket knife more, just to cut that person and be like, I got to make it to this show. But I'm also in an elevator. I'm a little stressed. You know, I'm not claustrophobic, but it's not a fun situation. And when everybody else is panicking around you, your hero complex kicks in. So I'm like, I don't need to tell Pat because I don't want to stress him out more. We'll get out of this situation quickly. It won't take 25 minutes to get us out of this goddamn elevator. So I apologize. That is why I was late for your show. But that stress combined with the disappointing look of you was just like, all right, well, you've got one opportunity now. Fucking kill it. And I did. It was probably my best
real quick,
shows,
look in the comments. Jennifer, thank you for coming out. She was there at the Saturday 6. Her and Tony are always fans and always been great supporters of my comedy throughout, and it was awesome that they were there. Terry, that's fucking hilarious that your dog, German Shepherd's in love with my voice. That makes sense because awesome. I think we're both kind of Nazis, but
like, I know that.
Kevin, I haven't had a chance where we're gonna really look, but last time I looked, we were just about at 2,500 hours watched. We've climbed. We're there. Like I said before, I really think it's gonna be late fall before we get a chance to do it. It's the average, you know, and we've really jumped with Bobby's videos, with my shorts, and with these podcasts. We have really started to climb up in view numbers and hours and all that stuff. So we're getting there, and we thank you, Kevin and Terry, and everybody for all the help you've done with doing all that.
Absolutely.
And Bobby, we'll move on to stories, and we're not doing a piece of shit with that. You were trying your best. I'm not going to do that. But what you said at one point in that story if you did text me and said, "Hey Pat, yada yada elevator," you don't realize I would have gone to Mark, the owner of comics and the man who has a lot of pull there, and said, "Hey, the opening act's in the thing." And all of a sudden, you would have had like Mounties and fucking, Navajo.
The
And
tribal
you would have had
police.
people. You would have had that thing pulled up sooner if you had let me put out the bat signal.
You know what? I figured it would work out. I had my St. Jude medal on, and boy, you know what? It worked out for the best.
I don't give a fuck about medals. Next time you tell St. Pat, and I'll fucking help you out.
Drive those snakes out.
That's it. But yes, fun weekend. Thank you guys. And more importantly for all of you, you don't have to hear about us performing at Comics Roadhouse anymore. Pretty soon you're gonna have to hear about get ready to fucking pre-order and fucking get the album.
Yeah, but not
and and with the video, and I don't even know the detail about that, but like where the video is gonna be, where the audio is gonna be, all that stuff we'll know soon when that's gonna happen. But now it's the editing process and all that stuff. Every year I've done an album, I pick a name. I never have a name till after the recording. I've got 2 or 3 in my head that I like. And I won't even like explain what it was. Like I'll say one to you, Bobby, and if you can remember where it comes from in a joke or even a thing I say. But I was thinking beautiful kinda. And I threw that in after describing a type of person from back in the day and nowadays and saying how we're supposed to react to them. But I don't even know. Hey, Kish, what's up, buddy? But yeah, we'll be figuring all that stuff soon. And once we know all the details and stuff like that, we'll let you guys know. There were people coming up to me from other areas saying, why don't you come here? Why don't you come there? And I think Bobby and I are going to start to try to reaching out to people as a group and trying to do that more. There's some small places we can start with, and I think we can build. I think this is a good building block. And also for me to send clips. Everyone's been asking for new clips. I'll have so many new clips from this. It's going to be great. So we'll definitely start reaching out and doing those kind of things. I mean, we had one guy pretend that his dad owned the club that he doesn't, but like it was really nice. We have a lot of stuff going on there. But now back to the thing we do, our show.
With that voodoo we do so well.
Bobby, do you know who Ellie King is?
I sure do.
King?
I sure do. I think we may
have the story.
Yeah, but I have a graphic. You read it.
If you have the story, I'll let you do so. I got something better. If you have that story, you
is it about her talking about her dad?
Yes. Okay. All right. Pull out my picture, if you could.
Yep. Give me one.
That I sent you. It's no problem. Sometimes great minds think alike, especially when a story's about what the fuck they were doing. But yeah, if people don't know, even a teaser, we'll be talking soon about Elle King and her. Everyone knows this. Her father is Rob Schneider, and their fun relationship.
You and I might have different stances on this.
Right, yeah. Now we will go with this story here, and this story here, this picture here. This picture is of Violet Affleck, who is Ben Affleck's daughter and the stepdaughter, or soon to be ex-stepdaughter, of Jennifer Lopez. Violet Affleck sports the same Dolce & Gabbana dress stepmom Jennifer Lopez once wore on Valentine's Day date with Ben. And if you look, and I'm not trying to be rude, it's an 18-year-old girl, and she seems very nice. Looks like fucking retarded in that dress. It looks like a special needs person was like, I'm going Halloween, but I'm also doing Easter, but I'm also having a tea party. It's like very strange looking. You can see Jennifer Garner in her face, though.
Oh, 100%.
But you also can see Rick Moranis in her face. And I don't know if maybe they had an affair.
God,
Violet Affleck is living the dream. On Sunday, the 18-year-old daughter of Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner was spotted grabbing lunch in Los Angeles wearing a familiar two-tone pink dress. The breezy Dolce & Gabbana dress design was initially worn by their teen's mom, Jennifer Lopez, 55, stepmom, who first rocked the look on a Valentine's Day date in 2023 with the Argo actor. Although the Let's Get Loud singer initially styled the voluminous mini dress with a belt from the Italian brand, completing her look with gold platform heels and diamond studs. She is really Latino. Violet kept things casual as she met up with her step siblings, Lopez's 16-year-old twins, Max and M. And they do show a picture of Lopez in it too. And obviously Jennifer Lopez is a woman with very curvaceous, is going to look better. It's not a greatest looking dress. She doesn't look that great. She's looked way better and stuff, but still. Skipping the waist cinching accessory, the eldest Affleck dressed down the V-neck frock, adding a pair of sporty sneakers that featured red laces along with white ankle socks and her go-to clear frame glasses. The girl I've never heard of has go-to glasses. Her glam was equally relaxed as she wore her straight, shoulder-length hair down and parted to the side, ditching dramatic makeup for a fresh face look. While it's unclear if Violet dipped into Lopez's own closet or simply was inspired by the star, it would certainly signal that the teen and her stepmom are still on good terms as divorce rumors continue to swirl around Ben and Jen. Still, despite any relationship drama between the stars, the two have managed to have quite the stylish summer. While the Air star has been showing off a fresh haircut, like a faux hawk, Lopez is embracing classical seasonal clothing. I don't care about their fucking outfits. Is this more about this bitch? The Selena actress has been seen spending time with Violet earlier in the summer, and the two are walking arm in arm while in the Hamptons. The teen wore bold printed pants for the outing and also sported a mask, as she's famously advocated against mask bans after contracting a post-viral condition. Who is the piece of shit in the story? Is it Violet Affleck for wearing what it seems to be, we would all guess, the actual dress, the stepmom's dress? Maybe she went out and got another one. I'm sure they have the money to do so, but it would be kind of weird when she could just wear the dress. Is it Jennifer Lopez for, if she still wants to be a good stepmom, maybe saying to her, hey, don't fucking do that. You're not built like me. You should not be wearing that dress. You look ridiculous. And maybe give her some advice on how to dress better, because she looks like somebody who's about to be in one of those movies where they do a makeover, but they didn't yet. And they're like, I bet you can't take the ugly girl to the prom. It's like, but you can. She's dressed like that. And then after they all call her ugly and dump shit on her, she gets a makeover, and then she looks hot in the dress because they gave her big old stupid tits or something.
Didn't Jennifer Garner actually play that role in a movie where she was the chick who just let her ponytail out, and then it was like, oh God, you're hot. This bitch let her ponytail out, and that did not happen. She has
something like that, or like 13 on 30, or one of those dopey things. Yeah. Is it the reporter for writing the article the way they did, saying, obviously they're still close? I don't know. I thought this was kind of one of those, hey, Jennifer, look, I'm wearing your stupid fucking dress. Thanks for leaving my dad. But that's what it feels like. It feels like to me that she's wearing and going, look how stupid this dress is. Because she's got like a smile, and she's got like her hand up. I didn't realize that she was also some like a mask wearing fucking goof, where she's like, I'm afraid of everything. If you're afraid of every air thing because you got all these conditions, which is probably just a cold and shit, shouldn't you also be afraid of another thing? I don't know, what's called embarrassment, because you look fucking ridiculous in your stupid dress. Is it Ben Affleck for be like, hey, don't wear the dress like that, wear your mom's clothes, your mom has nice clothes, and also, Ben, don't have a faux hawk. You already looked like a faux fucking person when you were on the Tom Brady roast. Calm the fuck down. Who's the piece of shit in the story, Bobby?
Oh, so it's not Ben Affleck, because anything he tries to do to parent this daughter in particular is going to backfire. Like, he's been through so many.
Do you know about things her in the past? I don't know anything about her past. I don't even know. This is the first time I ever heard of this girl.
Not at all.
I didn't know there was a Violet Affleck.
Yeah, and with good reason, apparently. Look at her. She doesn't look like her mom's, and she can't act like her dad, which might actually make her an actress, but that won't get her into Hollywood.
Sneakers are dumb. Yeah, I didn't know there was twins. I didn't know. I did know they had kids. I don't even know I knew that. If you said to me, do Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner have kids, I probably would have said, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's not like they're not Willow or Jalen Smith or whatever, like where they're
they're not like known in the zeitgeist there.
But it's not Ben, because even as like this girl's been in enough spotlight in the sense that if he tries to do anything, it's going to backfire. She's going to do the opposite. She's going to rebel. So just support, and she'll figure things out on her own. That's how we raise strong women. So it's not him. It's not J-Lo. Like, you're divorcing your dad. Let his daughter look dumb. Why not? Like, I don't need her to step in. It is 100% Violet Affleck. Like, you are famous enough. You have enough money to realize one very simple principle in life. When you look like that, you need uglier friends. Like, women of all races, creeds, and ethnicities have figured this out. That's why there's one fat bitch in every group. Because by comparison, the other people look nice. That's why I hang out with Big A. Because by comparison, I look normal. It all works out. You, as a star...
For those who don't know, Big A is a big fat guy. He's very nice, but he's a big fat special needs type guy that's a huge fan of Opie and Anthony, and then later on Compound Media, who was around Bobby. And he's a really nice guy and a good photographer. He just happens to be one of the ugliest men in the history of the planet, so Bobby gets to hang out next to him and look good.
By comparison, you need to go find some ugly friends and put on some nice fitting clothes. This is not your look. You're dumb. I don't think your dad's a good actor, and I don't think you're a good daughter. Boom.
Take that, bitch. Now, before I get to my piece of shit, Z and Kevin are having a fun back and forth that was kind of leading to what my piece of shit is. Z is like, who's the lump on the right? And then Kevin said, that's Karen. She's the butch. And I like that because I was going to say the piece of shit story is not two famous people raising a child or a stepmother trying to be involved in things. I'd be shocked if any of them know they have a daughter. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
The fact they said they even kind of hung out sometimes and stuff. I mean, who knows why they were doing that? But like, they're so famous and they're like such. I mean, that those two were never supposed to work out. Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner were supposed to work out. Those were people that seemed like to be in love, and Jennifer Garner seems to be, at least the way her camp puts things out, a down to earth person who happens to be an actress, not somebody who's been claiming for fame, which Ben Affleck seems to always be. He does have talent, obviously, a writer and director, but he always needs to be in that spotlight as well. But Jennifer Garner is nothing more than an attention-seeking whore, and there's no way that if she was walking by Violet Affleck and they seemed to be walking together, I don't think Jennifer Lopez even knows that was her. She was probably just like, why does this girl keep following me? Like, she's your stepdaughter. She's like, what? I don't know. I mean, I've never stepped on anybody. I think she wouldn't know. So obviously, when they have, yes, that girl would be dead on that block in 2 fucking seconds.
Oh God.
They'd be like, "Are you here to tutor a football player? Why are you here on this block?"
What kind of drugs you want, huh?
Because they have famous people there and dealing with that, what happens? They usually have a nanny or something. I'm not sure who, as ZZ put it, the lump is, but the lump is my piece of shit. Because the lump is walking alongside her with that and does not say, hey, you look fucking ridiculous. Now, I bet you what that lump did instead was, I bet you Violet was like, I'm 18 now. Am I pretty? My mom and dad never really talked to me. Am I attractive? I bet you I couldn't wear anything like Jennifer wears. I wish I could. Everyone always says she's so pretty. And no one ever talks about, mom's so pretty. And then this dyke was like, probably, put the dress on. You'll rock it. You're
God, yeah, that's a good point.
Put that on. And then she put it on, and now this woman is probably like, you know what? You look really good like that. And you know what else you should do? You should wear like a thong or something. And people won't even understand that. Show me the thong. And next thing you know, this bull dyke is grooming Violet Affleck to be your lover. Because that's what they do. Lesbians that look like that are groomers. That's what they are. They put her in a dress, make her feel like she's the pretty one so she can be the butch one. She's like, I love you. I believe in you. I know your mom and dad don't, but I do. She's like, thanks, Karen with the tits. That's all I need in life. So my piece of shit in the story is the fake story I made up about this woman that probably doesn't exist.
So you're saying this bitch left an NA meeting and was like, there's not enough fresh crop here. I'm going to go get me an Affleck.
Yeah.
I love it. You know what? I'm with you.
And
your fake story sold me.
It was an MA meeting. It was like a men anonymous, like no men.
Worse. Yeah, they're notorious for that, going into all those AAs and NAs and CAs and BAs and being like, oh, it's not your fault. It's men's fault. Here, eat this.
But ZZ, I get what you're saying, but for that reason, Jennifer Gardner looks like somebody that if you met her at a party, you could literally have a conversation with her. I think that in person, she'd be more stunning than she is on camera. There are people like that. She is taller. She has great features, but I understand her face seems a little odd on camera and stuff. But I think she'd be like the prettiest regular person you ever met. And Jennifer Lopez looks so overdone. Same way like Carmen Electra and people that like, there are certain people in the world where you're like, I think you're just supposed to be fucked. And that's it. And you're not really supposed to do anything. Pamela Anderson, there's some things that are just born pocket pussies. And I feel that's what they are. So people kind of like look at them with their sexuality and just go like, that's what hot is. But that's not hot to me. That's gross to me. It's not unapproachable to me. It's not what I want to be around. It's I wouldn't call it intimidating. It's just, I wouldn't get anything out of it. Jennifer Garner having a touch of a flaw, but still being very pretty, also seems like somebody I could actually have a conversation. I find Jennifer Garner way more attractive than I do Jennifer Lopez, is what I'm going around and saying. But it's easy, you're not wrong. Just on that eye thing, if you threw two on a magazine cover and threw them in their hottest bikinis or whatever you were going to do, or dresses, I think Jennifer Garner would look very good. But I also think that Jennifer Lopez would blow her out of the water any cover of a magazine. Like when they're doing little fun things like for Entertainment Tonight, Jennifer Garner blew the world away about 6 months ago by doing a fun little dance that no one thought she was going to do because she looked sexy, like a sexy mom. You know what I mean? Like it was like out of left field, like, oh shit, she's dancing. Jennifer Lopez is constantly doing that and trying to make herself seem sexy and all that shit. Or not that to bail or not to bail my girlfriend from jail. We'll get to you in 1 second, sir.
Is
So
she on
to
the line?
me, Jennifer Garner is way, way, way more attractive.
And to me, I like to treat it like a trip to an art museum where I go, oh, these are
Okay.
the Van Goghs. They're one beautiful category. Oh, these are the Manets. Another beautiful category. I appreciate and want to fuck them both.
I would tell Jennifer Lopez to Van Gogh and get the fuck out. I hope a van hits her in the head. That bitch stinks.
Well,
That
she's
movie
going
she
to
made
prison
fucking
according to
stinks.
Suge Knight.
Yes, they all are. According to Shug. Shug's, it's funny because Shug's already there.
Suge
Good
said
afternoon,
Ben
guys.
Affleck knows.
Mr. Funny Hands in Your Pants. Good afternoon, guys. To bail or not to bail my girlfriend from jail? I guess we'd have to know what she did, sir, and if it was something that she did to you. If she didn't do something to you, then yes, you bail your girlfriend out of jail because then you have the ultimate get out of jail free card in life with your relationship. Anytime she's like, "You're not taking me out," or like, "Well, I took you out of prison," and she's like, "Oh, fuck, all right." Like, "You're not taking out the trash." And before you can answer it, she goes, "I know. You took me out of prison and I'm trash." It's like, whatever. Charges. Okay, here we go. Charges. 2 felonies and 1 misdemeanor. Obstruction, damage government property, and 2nd-degree child abuse. Wouldn't let kid in the house since she ran away 3 times. Okay, at least it was not abuse, not physical abuse. It was not letting a child. I guess we'd have to know the age of the child. Please don't tell us. We aren't
I don't want any more
we aren't
details.
lawyers. We don't know anything. Should you bail her out? No. Because of the last, maybe learn a little bit of the lesson. Maybe you got to remember how it was like to be a kid again. And what's the best way to learn to be a kid? To be stuck somewhere. Kid's 14, fucking stay in jail. Let her get out when she gets out because we've all been there at that teenage age. Yeah, you got to remember when you were a kid, you're misunderstood, whatever. No one learns a lesson from that shit. You think they do. Though it's tough luck. No one learns a lesson. They learn how to avoid fucking things, and they learn how to not deal with it. And then they really learn lack of trust. That's the moment where you're like, they run away 3 times, but you just really ask them why they're running away. What can we do? You fucking figure shit out. It's your fucking kid. Damage of government property. That's fun, depending on what it was. You know what I mean? Like that part is not bad. Maybe like, okay, the 2 felonies. If they aren't physical to you or the daughter, then I'm cool with them. 1 misdemeanor, it's not bad. Don't bail out. ZZ says it's not hard to not get arrested. You can do better. Once again, ZZ is the voice of reason. I'm trying to like nitpick and do a thing. ZZ's 100% right. It's not hard to not get arrested. It really isn't. You have to actually try to get arrested most times. So, and you have all these responsibilities and things like that. And I guess my other question would be, Mr. Funny Hands in the Pants. Why are we dating this one? You seem like a man who could do better. You always have a good take on things. I know your hands are always in your pants. Your hands are out and about. They're in the pants.
Yeah, tag me in, Pat, because I could take his side here. She's obviously hot.
I don't think so.
Go bail her ass out. You just go, hey, I run the house now. You 2 are done fighting. Like, just go your separate ways. When you're 18, leave. But until then, just go do your thing. We'll take care of you.
Do you think Mr. In the Pants? You think Mr. In the Pants is like pulling hot chicks?
Yes. I think
He's
may
not
have
Mr. Hands in your
blemished
he's
record.
Mr. Hands in your pants. I thought he was Mr. Hands in my pants. If he's Mr. Hands in your pants, then I guess it doesn't matter. Why does he have girlfriends? He's always got his hands in your pants. He doesn't need a girlfriend. He's always grabbing the puss.
Yeah, she's obviously a problem. A problem for those pigs. Oink oink. This one's hot. Yeah, bail her out. All she did was smash a body cam. Who hasn't done that? No justice, no peace.
This one is hot. How many do you have? If you have more than one girlfriend, you don't gotta bail one out. That makes it easier. You leave one in so you can date the other one.
Exactly.
But by the way, I think what I would like to start doing is when anyone brings us a problem, like hey, my kids are doing this like that. Bobby, you and I can talk about it, but I think we're gonna like pass it to ZZ and let
he
him.
seems the most reasonable.
He's not reasonable, but he really logically breaks it down, and I always appreciate that. There is a plethora of things going on, Kev. So much. Kevin's right too. He's also like, are you kidding? It's also very easy to get arrested. It's called cancel culture. I don't even get arrested for that, but you can be like Facebook arrested.
No, they're arresting people in England for tweets now, dude. It's fucking nutty.
Okay, England. I'm talking about the world.
Okay, yeah, I guess you would
Like
have to
good shit.
bail her out of the old Billy Clubhouse or whatever they call it in England.
Oh yeah, the
Bunch of
Wankerville
fiddlesticks.
Express.
We got a wanker. Yeah, fuck them. Fuck England. We beat you. We're the best. USA, USA, USA.
Who's piece of shit in your story, Bobby? It is you for not reading a story yet. Ready to go.
Would you rather the polished turd now, or you want to hear the story we both had?
Well, this isn't the second story yet, so we should definitely.
Okay, so we'll do the one we
usually do
both
that
had.
second. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. Just making sure we were on the same page, my man.
We were, and then you turn the page.
Like, call me Bob Seger, not Bobby Tamburo.
As long as I'm not calling you Metallica, that's a bad cover.
In a candid and emotional revelation, Elle King, a renowned singer and songwriter, recently shared her insights into her complex relationship with her father, as we said earlier, comedian Rob Schneider. The discussion took place on Bunny XO's, quote, Dumb Blonde podcast, where King openly described the strange, challenging dynamic she had with her father over the years. And it was more than just that Elle King's trying to distance herself from Rob Schneider, despite the fact that she looks like him in a wig. Elle King is known for her hit song, this article is willing to say.
Hold on. Is it Elking or Ellie King? Because Elking sounds like a description of like milking an elk, or like maybe some kind of like, if you're like, what are they called, the furries, if you're dressing like, he was Elking.
I think that's her name, dude.
No, let's go with Elking. That's fine. I thought it was Ellie King because Elking is just crazy sounding, but it's probably right.
The song, X's and O's, you know, they close every show with this weekend, right?
Huh?
The song, the hit song that they described, X's and O's by
our
Elle King.
shows with it?
Yeah, that's what they would play it as people were leaving every show. I think that's why both of our phones.
I didn't hear that
article.
because I was already off the stage. You know what I mean? So I didn't hear it. So.
Yeah. But anyway, back to this Elle King. Elle King, known for her hit song, X's and O's, detailed a childhood that was marked by feeling disconnected from her father. She was raised primarily by her mother, former model London King, and her stepfather, Justin Tiza, not Tesla. Elle explained that her interactions with Schneider were sporadic and often centered around movie sets. These experiences left her feeling lost in the shuffle, and her father's focus on work often overshadowed their personal relationship. To take it further, I'm sure being around all those successful producers and people in Hollywood really hurt her ability to break into the music industry. One of the most poignant aspects of her narrative involves Schneider's decision to send her to, quote, fat camp as a child, a decision King described as, quote, very toxic. She recounted the pressure to conform to certain standards of appearance and how this affected her self-esteem. This decision, she noted, was part of a broader pattern of tension regarding her weight and self-expression, including her love for tattoos. Heaven forbid a father try to help his daughter become a famous pop star. Adele already checks the tattoo box. King also touched on her father's controversial views on social issues, which have been a source of friction between them. She expressed disagreement with his outspoken stances, particularly his views on drag and LGBTQ plus rights, which she criticized as misinformed and offensive. This ideological divide has further widened the gap between them, contributing to their lack of communication in recent years. In Rob's defense, perhaps the reason he feels so anti-LGBTQ is because he realizes Elle looks like Rob if he went full trans and gained 350 pounds. Throughout the podcast, Elle King emphasized the importance of setting boundaries and focusing on personal well-being. She made it clear that she has no intention of trying to mend the relationship at this time, stating that she does not want to be associated with Schneider and his views. Instead, she chooses to focus on her career and personal growth, striving to distance herself from the shadow of her famous father. Unfortunately, since her hit song was over a decade ago, I would have a hard time saying she was successful at focusing on career growth. However, tummy growth, she's killing it, and herself. Pat, who is the piece of shit in this story? Is it Fatty Moo Moo Elle King? Like, I get you're trying to stay relevant, but even though you call your dad sporadic and not really successful and super divisive, he's the relevant one right now. So you're clinging on to your last ounce of fame by reaching and saying, oh, we had this strained relationship and playing into the Me Too. This might have worked in 2018.
Oh, it's easy. Bobby was doing a lot of editorial in that. So when Bobby threw in all the parts that make you feel like there was like daddy issues and shit. Bobby was throwing in jokes. Sometimes he reads with the same thing, but I could tell when Bobby was reading the article and when Bobby was just when moo moo whatever and all that stuff was not in the article. And also the Adele line. There was a lot of things in there that weren't in the article.
All right, Fat Toot is hilarious. I don't care who you are.
It might have been. It is hilarious, but it definitely wasn't in the article.
It was in my article. Is the piece of shit Rob Schneider for loving his daughter too much and sounds like he's the man? Is the article, whoever wrote the original article, is it Bunny XO and her dumb blonde podcast? Is that the piece of shit for having this one-hit wonder who should have overdosed in a bathtub like Amy Winehouse on to talk shit about her dad? Pat, we'll throw it to you first. Do you know who Bunny is, by the way?
No.
She's the chick in that Jelly Roll song.
He has many songs.
Right, but she's the chick in that Jelly Roll song.
What
That's
song?
her claim to fame. I don't even know. That's my point. Like, she's
not.
She's a talented singer, but she's not like super famous or anything like that. So
I didn't realize you were like taking a dig. I thought you were literally saying that's her credit. Like she's the chick in the Jelly Rolls. I'm like, which song? Because like she's got like a lot of songs. So it's like,
it was the cowboy, a cowgirl don't cry. That one.
Possibly. I don't really know most of it anyway. Piece of shit in this story to me is Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler is responsible for anything that's ever happened to Rob Schneider good, ever. Adam Sandler is probably the reason why Rob Schneider was married to former model London King. Adam Sandler is probably the reason why, that the King, the daughter, gets any pull and say. Rob Schneider is not calling up any fucking recording studio and going, hey, can you guys help me out? I'm Rob Schneider. I'm the making copies guy. Hey, making copies. Hey, copy guy. Hey, what's Steve Reno? Like, wait, we don't know that. We're not 413 years old. He's like, oh, okay. I'm sorry. It's like, you can do it. You can do it all night long. They're like, all right, we know that's Adam Sandler, right? Like, no. It's me. That's the line I say in Adam Sandler. Deuce Bigelow? And it's like, oh, you made that fucking piece of shit? Did you make the animal thing too? And they're like, yeah, okay, sorry. I was in the dad's one, though. Was that okay? Like, not you weren't good in it. Were you like the other David Spade? Like, yes, I was the other David Spade. Adam Sandler should have jumped in right away when the second Rob Schneider tried to parent. Adam Sandler's kids, for the most part, you don't hear much about. They seem pretty grounded. You don't hear much about his wife unless he talks about it. Sandler seems to be like another guy who, even though he is beyond famous and tons of money, always dresses like he just woke up from hockey camp, and then and always is like the kind of guy that just seems like down to earth and stuff, and would never, ever, ever even think about sending his daughters to fat camp or talking to them about their career, what they was doing. All the things you think sound cool is not something that he would do. He should have just said, hey, Rob, I know you made the child with that woman. Let me have the child. I will raise it and I'll make it good. And then I can tell people, hey, Rob Schneider, it's kid. Why will you be in my movie Grown Ups 5? And they're like, great. And so
I bet Rob would have said, you can do it.
Right, but she's London King's a model, I guess, and in her own right has some fame. I've never heard of her, but I'm sure she's a very pretty lady, and I'm sure she's had a good career. I'm not saying she hasn't. But when you're a kid and you take the last name of the lesser known of the quote unquote celebrities, of your C-list celebrities, your dad stinks. And you're even saying it. So, yeah, Adam Sandler should have jumped in and fucking been the better dad, because he probably is the one who slept with London King anyway. Bobby.
I believe he slept with her originally. I do think Rob is her dad just because it looks like his face is in a wig is her. But for me, the piece of shit in this story isn't London King, who I only know from her song, How Come Every Time I Come Around London, London Bridges Goes Down. That's the only way I know her, so it's not her. She stepped out of the spotlight to raise this daughter with some dude who sounds like Tesla. It's not Rob Schneider. Like, as soon as who knows what, we're hearing one side of the story. I'm willing to believe he might not have been the easiest dad in the world, but it also, you had a song in Hollywood, so he clearly helped some. Is it?
Maybe. We don't know that, though. He may not have all. She might have to do it in spite.
But that's my point. Like, regardless, he was the fulcrum. and it's becoming more apparent as time goes on that whatever he did drove her to do what she's doing. She
Oh, you mean to
claims
her?
to.
I mean, like, I don't know if he was the reason, like, she got the thing. It
Oh
might have
no,
driven her to it. Yeah, but you don't thank the molester for making you grow. You know what I mean? Like,
I agree, but I'm just saying if this was her dream, he was a fulcrum that helped her along the way. For me, the piece of shit in this story is also Adam Sandler, but not for the reason you said. He should have covered her song. It's designed for Adam Sandler to market. My exes and my whoa wobble stay on me. It would have ruined her. Be that ride for your boy. What up, Chris?
um, there's no possible way he would ever do that because then Rob would not know what to do and explain to his daughter why his friend is doing a song parody, and Adam Sandler would rather write the world's worst original song than ever do a smart parody. Like, as much as he has some great original songs, he has a bunch of stinkers. And that guy never covers anything. It's always like, do you like sneakers? I do too. Ah. It's like, that's not a song. You're just yelling and ah. It's like, so her song is actually more melodic. So, but yeah.
True. True.
Even though I like that we both went the Sandler route. Where are we?
I think
next?
ZZ does bring up a good point. Hit the gym, ladies.
Yeah. Well, they could hit the gym, but they could also just work out there too, instead of like Kool-Aid manning their way through the fucking thing.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and tuck that tummy tight and
Speaking
do your
of
crunches
models,
like this. Speaking of models,
OnlyFans models boundaries crossed by man's incredibly uncomfortable act at the gym. Yeah. Alicia Davis was working out at the gym when a stranger sent her a photo of herself, and she absolutely hated it. Davis, 32, runs a successful OnlyFans account where she posts X-rated photos of herself, and I know they always say X-rated, but to me, X-rated means like they have to open up their entire vagina hole. Like, naked isn't X-rated. To me, that's R-rated. It's a thing of beauty, a naked body, but like you have to show like your inside of your butthole to make it X-rated to me. Like, right? It's gotta be crazy. X-rated, she's like sucking a cock.
so I grew up in a generation where X-rated was nudity.
To
Double
me,
X.
X-rated was fucking. Because in R movies, you could have naked body, you could see tits in an R-rated movie. You could even see
Yeah.
them simulating sex. You just couldn't see penetration or anything of that nature. You couldn't see a penis, but you could see ass and you could see boobs. You could see all that. X-rated meant I'm gonna see a penis and it's gonna go in and stuff like that. That's what X was.
And then our generation we were taught X was just like nudity for nudity's sake, like it was sex, like pornographic nudity.
Right.
Double X was oral sex with that nudity and still some plot line, and triple X was just straight penetration and porn. But I don't think that's a real class. I don't think that's how they like rate movies. I think that's just something we were taught.
Well, I don't know if you were taught. There was that class.
You didn't take porn movie classes?
No, I didn't go to class.
Oh boy, I got to call the priest.
Davis, 32, runs a successful OnlyFans account where she posts X-rated photos of herself, and she's amassed over 50,000 Instagram followers. But separating her work life from her everyday life has gotten more complicated. She has found the kind of internet fame where occasionally she'll get stopped by a fan who wants to have a chat, but someone took it too far when they recognized her at the gym. I had recently joined the new gym, and one of the other members who found out who I was and what I did for work. While I was at the gym, I started getting messages on OnlyFans from a fan I had not yet had much engagement with. The messages were saying things like, "You look so good right now, and I love what you are wearing today." Plus other messages that were clearly coming from a person in the gym as they were describing me at the exact moment, which is fucking creepy as shit. The messages weren't welcome. They were jarring. Davis was just trying to work out and didn't like the feeling of being watched. He even, at one point, sent a photo of me to myself. I hated this. This was a major boundary crossed. I felt incredibly uncomfortable to know that someone was watching me and sending messages like this, and I have no idea who it was. I told them to come up and say hi to me so I knew who they were, but they didn't. I asked them not to send messages like this while I was in the gym if they were not going to come and introduce themselves. The stranger ignored her, and the next day when she attended the gym again, she got similar messages. I was starting to feel really uncomfortable and started considering if I even wanted to come to the gym anymore. And then thought, no, I'm going to put a stop to this. I told them to stop and think about how inappropriate and uncomfortable their messages would be making me feel. I said that when I'm not online, I am here in my personal time. I expect a level of respect and a more appropriate human behavior. Her directness paid off. Surprisingly, they ended up coming up to me and apologizing. I think he was enjoying some kind of mysterious fantasy, but forgot to consider that this would be quite uncomfortable for me as I am in my personal time. As her following has grown, Davis has had to become more conscious of what she posts online for her safety. While I share with a lot of fans, there are boundaries to this, and ensure my safety is always my number one priority. I will never disclose specific details on the area I live in and tend to keep this information generalized. Other things like what gym I go to and things like this. Things that I do in my own personal life that have nothing to do with my online life are kept completely separate and as private as possible. For Davis, this means she'll never post social media content in real time to ensure her safety and privacy. If I was to go for lunch and dinner somewhere, I never post a story of where I am until after I have left or even the following day. I mean, I can't give a shit. This also goes for gym selfies or any sort of public outing. I love giving my fans a chance to meet me, but always have to control the environment and manner. The 32-year-old is always up for a chat, but has to create some boundaries. Oh, you're up for a chat when they're paying for it? That's great. If I was out in public and had fans come up and say hi, I was always happy to engage, but I will not engage hugs or touching any kind, and I keep my conversation polite, short, and sweet, and continue on. Who's piece of shit in stories? This woman who is claiming she has all these fans coming up to her. I'm sure it's not many. I'm sure it's a couple of fucking weirdos. I have no idea who this Alicia Davis is. I don't go on OnlyFans. I don't even know how you find OnlyFans people if they're not porn stars, but whatever. Is it her for saying, hey, I know I put my tits out there and I talk to people like I'm going to fuck them for money and stuff like that, but when they see me in person, they better fucking treat it differently. And I know we do that with the actors and actors, but a lot of people cross that line. When they see Chandler, not anymore they don't, but when they saw Chandler in person, they'd be like, oh my God, Chandler Bing. And they would use dumb sarcasm thing at him. And he's like, and I'm sure he had to deal with it and do whatever. It's like, well, years ago, I opened for the guy who was a Banya or whatever his name is on Seinfeld. And that guy would go on stage right at the beginning and go, let's get it out of the way. He's like, soup's not a meal, Jerry. And then he's like, here's my jacket. And he would do the two lines and everybody's like, yeah. And he goes, all right, look at me now. But after the show, when they would come up and want to yell those things at him, he's like, yeah, I get it. Yell the things at me. It's 2 a.m. It's what you know I am. You know, you gotta expect it. You can't be like, if you're gonna be like peddling yourself as the person who's saying they're gonna blow everybody and do shit to them and stuff, and then there's a guy at the gym and he sees you and you're fucking wearing spandex shorts that have that fake butt crack crease and everything like that, and that he's gonna be weird and leery, and he's not gonna approach you. If he had the ability to approach you, he wouldn't be on your OnlyFans. He would direct message you and be a regular stalker. OnlyFans people are people that are afraid to talk to real people. Is this guy? It's fucking creepy, bro. Real creepy. Message saying, I like what you're wearing today. I like what you're doing. Where do you think you're going? If you have the balls to do that, go up to her and be like, hey, I really like your outfit today. You should wear that on your show. Wink, wink. And then she'd be like, oh, you're a fan. Thank you. And he's like, yep, I'll let you go back to your workout now. And then you're all done. You don't need to say anything. You're fine, whatever. But to send the pictures and not come out at first, to be that way, it's fucking terrifying. Is it the gym? It's like the gym should be seeing. I'm guessing if she goes to some gym wherever they live, whatever's going on, there's other OnlyFans type women there and stuff like that. And you think they'd be pushing the camera things down even more, and they're not. Who's the piece of shit in the story?
So we have to, if we assume that the OnlyFans chick is telling the truth, that this actually happened, it wasn't faked. I find it highly skeptical, the fact that she hasn't put out, like, you know how easy it would be to figure out who at the gym was sending you pictures of yourself with the gym security footage. It'd take me about 10 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, so I find that highly questionable, but we're going to assume, we're going to give her the benefit of the doubt. I agree, Z. She's not at the gym to 100% work out. She's there making quote content to post selfies and stuff. But the reason why you appreciate her is the effort she put in.
But she did say flat out she doesn't do that. When she's at the gym, she doesn't post selfies and she doesn't do that. And that guy was taking the picture. So.
And I'm speaking to the generalization, but like if they're hot, they're putting in the work at some point. You know what I mean? Like whether it be for the camera or behind the scenes, like this girl where she doesn't post any of that content, they are working out. They're human beings. Yeah. The guy is making a 100% stalker move. You don't do that. You either go up to her and, like you said, and say, hey, oh man, it's going to be hard for you to make your show tonight with how hard you work legs or something. You know what I mean? Something to let her know you're in on it and you appreciate it. But more importantly,
I know what you mean, but ew. I know it's not you, but if anyone came up to you and said it's gonna be hard to do what you do tonight when you're working today, that would be in your skull forever.
Oh.
You know what I mean? If they walk away, you're like, what the fuck?
Or like if she's doing yoga, you go, oh, that's how you got into that position. Good luck with the show tonight. You should bust that out. You know, she'll
Man,
know.
it's gonna be hard for you to show stuff off the way you moved your asshole around today.
But you get what I'm saying.
No,
The way
you're right.
you
I was just
opened
saying
the
it'd be
pa-
wild.
Yeah.
You and I aren't the people that would ever say these lines, so it's so wild to me. But there are men out there who would say even wilder.
Yeah. But also, you're at the gym. The only reason you should notice anybody around you is if they're using the equipment you're about to use next. Focus on your goals. If you were focused enough in the gym, you'd be big enough that she'd come up to you. Stop chasing these broads. Stop chasing the dream. The OnlyFans chick fantasy isn't reality. Anytime you actually get to meet your heroes, it doesn't always go well because the image you've created them in your mind, and this isn't just about porn stars, this goes for everything. If I met Steph Curry, I would 99% be disappointed because the image I've created of him in my mind is not him as a person, and he couldn't possibly live up to that. And these people who are addicted to OnlyFans enough that they would recognize one and stock one at their gym are at a point where they've created an image of these people. It's not going to go well. Go find happiness, lift harder, do a cycle or two, and maybe she'll come up to you. So my piece of shit's the stalker.
Wait, so you're Beast is a stalker because he won't do steroids?
My point is, if you go, oh my God, I need this chick so badly, she works out at my gym, that I'm going to stalk her, try 2 cycles of steroids first, see how big you get, and I bet you she comes up to you. Spoiler alert, she probably isn't the deepest human being. You can go deep on her.
Yeah, I guess if the guy was trying to fart, this seems like an incel.
Right, get out of that.
So I don't think he's there. I think he's such an incel that he recognizes OnlyFans people. That's how much of an incel he is. I watch porn, but I know for a fact I would never recognize any porn star ever in public. I would, if anything, I might even go, like, let's just say, like, who's the more famous one, like Riley Reid. My brain would go to, that girl looks kind of like Riley Reid.
Yeah, I could see that. And
if she wore glasses and had her hair up, then I realized, wait, that lady could do that. You know what I mean? Like that's where my head. But a guy like this would be like, oh my God, it's Alice Davis, my 14th favorite OnlyFans.
And that is my point. If you stop spending all the money you were spending on OnlyFans and put it into a nice run of, test, Winstraw, little up ball, little D ball, little T ball, take that money, invest it in yourself. You don't need the OnlyFans anymore because you can find those women in real life. If that's what you need so badly. ZZ nailed it. The image you created in your mind. What? You have self-worth? You know you're a whore, right? Thank you. Like, that is the mindset. So, like, develop yourself and ask yourself. One of the most eye-opening experiences, I don't know if you've gone through this, Pat, is when you're in a position and you go, oh my God, I wish I had a shot with that chick. And then you go, wait, if she gave me a shot, would I be ready? And then you have to go do the work to be ready. Like, you can't pursue these things until you're ready for them. Clearly you aren't. You're just stalking a chick at the gym and nobody wants to see you do squats with a boner.
Wait, the question is, you're asking yourself if I have a shot with her?
So, like,
no, I don't think I've ever been in that situation. But I usually, even if, I don't really approach people, they usually approach me. But, like, when they do, I never think about if I have a shot with anybody. I kind of just, people say that, a lot of women have told me they like the fact that I play like coy, but in reality, I'm just thinking about me. So it's like, I don't really notice. So they talk to me and they're like expecting a guy to hit on them, but instead I'm like, you want to hear this wacky joke? Like, oh, look, you see that Puerto Rican guy? I can say 5 things about him. I can say things about Puerto Ricans. You like this? And they're like, oh, you're funny. And you're the one guy not hitting on me. You want to hang out? And I'm like, oh, that wasn't on purpose. Like, I'm sure it's your game. I'm like, nah, you're retarded. And like, oh, see, you're cute. So that's me.
But sometimes, like, you could be like, oh man, if I did get the window here, I'm not ready for this. So then you work on yourself. That's what these guys need to do. Work on yourself.
I guess so. I think I'm always ready. some of us are ready, and some of us are just walking through the comedy club restaurant at 5:59, not ready at all. Boom. I'm kidding, buddy. I think it's time for your
to
turn.
summarize my story, given the opportunity, what did I do, Pat? All right, I did mediocre.
You did fine after I got mad at you, but that's not really what I want to do before my show. But I think it's time for your polished turd of the day.
Polished turd, you know it, you love it. It should be in there for you now, and I'm gonna hide my video.
He was flipping, soaring high. The judges said bronze, but they don't lie. They checked the score, said no it ain't. Now she's left without her paint. Oh, Flava Flav, with your clock so cold. Stepping in when the judges got cold. He said join is a bronze just for you. It's a necklace, girl, and it's something new. The Romanians appealed and they won the fight. Jordan's medal gone overnight. But Flavor's there with style and flair. A ticking clock showing he cares. Oh, Flava Flav with your clock so bold. Stepping in when the judges got cold. He said Jordan is a bronze just for you. It's a necklace, girl, and it's something new. Oh, Flava Flav with your clock so bold. Stepping in when the judges got cold. He said Jordan is a bronze just for you. It's a necklace, girl, and it's something new. In a world where scores can fall, Flava Flav answered the call. With the clock around her neck, she'll stand tall. In her heart, she's won it all. Oh, Flava Flav with your clock so bold. Stepping in when the judges got cold. He said Jordan is a bronze just for you. It's a necklace, girl, and it's something new. Oh, Flava Flav with your clock so bold. Stepping in when the judges got cold. He said Jordan is a bronze just for you. The necklace, girl, and it's something new. Oh, Flava Flav, oh, Flava Flav. In times of need, you're the rave.
So you did not follow the gymnastics controversy, I'm assuming.
I've heard about the girl's name, and I know that they took a medal away or something, but that's all I know.
So let me see. I will try this. Try to explain it as quickly as I can for you. In the
Flava Flav! Are you gonna do that?
I am gonna yell that in a minute, but he's not in the story quite yet. Other than that, he's a super fan and watched like all the gymnastics events, the rhythmic, the trampoline, all the bullshit ones, and all the real ones, men's and women's.
Even that autistic guy, Steve?
No, he didn't watch that pick.
Oh, that guy's great.
He's like, fuck that one. No, he did. Yeah, I'm kidding. He absolutely loved him. But in the vibrant arena of the 2024 Paris Olympics, American gymnast Jordan Chiles captured the audience's attention with her powerful floor exercise. On August 5th, she was initially awarded 5th place, which stood in direct opposition to her particular skill and precision. And before I go into the story, to anyone saying you have to respect the judges of an Olympic sport, particularly in the Olympics, you should steeplechase my gold medal cock down your throat. We've seen it throughout history. The Russians cheated in figure skating. They bribed the judges. We got Tim Donaghy in the NBA. We have the entire 1970s East German female athlete team. Like, there is no integrity left amongst these cocksuckers who have spent their whole life bullied, so they use the little bit of power they're given against people who are significantly better at the sport they claim to love. So initially, Chiles scored 5th, but her coach, Cecil Landy, filed an official inquiry, and they corrected an error in her difficulty value, which elevated Chiles to the bronze medal. This adjustment sparked some controversy, though, because it led to Romanian gymnast Ana Barbusu and Sabrina Maneka-Voina, and the top G himself, King Cobra Andrew Tate, to appeal in Romania's favor. Now, at this point, you guys might be like, why does Bobby care so much about gymnastics? I have two people in my life who really watch and care about the scores of gymnastics. So I reached out to both of them, was like, hey, my boy King Cobra Tate said they cheated the Romanians here. What's going on? And both people responded, if the Romanians feel cheated, they should appeal to the official channel and see if they can get their scores changed. And guess what happened? Initially, she scored fifth, so she got appealed. The Romanians challenged the ruling, argued that the inquiry was made beyond the 1 minute limit set for such appeals. The Court of Arbitration for Sport sided with them, leading to Child's medal being taken away. A new twist saw Monika Zvoina's score amended, tying her with Barbusa, but she ended up in fourth somehow, and Childs took fifth. And honestly, that's a spicy pepper to follow. Amid the chaos, though, a new hero emerged, Pat. Rapper and entertainer Flava Flav. A passionate supporter of Team USA, Flava Flav offered Childs a unique consolation prize, a personalized bronze clock necklace, his signature accessory. His gesture resonated, offering support and solidarity to Childs in a turbulent time. And to be fair, few people actually rooted harder in person for Team USA Gymnastics than the king himself, Flava Flav. Who is the piece of shit in this story? I'm sorry, what did you say?
I said Snoop did.
He did as well, but like Flava Flav made his thing. He was supporting the gymnasts all week. Like that was his. Okay. He focused on that category. Yeah, like he was trying to make a name there a little bit. So who is your piece of shit in this story? Is it Flava Flav? Here we are again. Yes, I get you're supporting Team USA, but you're also making this about you and not the people competing in the actual event, right? That said, he was there the whole time. Like, I give him some respect. He wasn't at home sitting and tweeting from his couch. He was there in person and made this statement in person. Somebody came up to him and asked him, and that's when he made it. You know what I mean? It'd be one thing if he was like just tweeting it out there trying to get attention, but actually the fact that he put his money where his mouth is and was there rooting, that's one thing. Is it Simone Biles' husband? Let's be honest. If anybody set the precedent of I'm slightly famous, let me make somebody else's victory about me, it was her husband. He was like, we champions now. We champions now. Nah, man, you rated fifth on prospective quarterbacks coming out this season. You ain't shit. Is it the judges? I mean, let's be honest. They haven't unalived themselves yet. They didn't do the right thing. Is it the Romanians? Like, of anybody to lose to, a bunch of former USSR cunts. Come on now. Pat, is it Andrew Tate? He appealed to the Romanian people, but has spent the last 6 months going, they arrested me improperly. Everything's wrong here. Yada, 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 yada. Who's your piece of shit in the story?
Flava Flav. What are you get out of the gymnast things? What are you doing? That's fucking weird. Once Chuck D stopped fucking with him, this guy has tried to make all these ridiculous decisions. He kind of reminds me that he goes the same route as Vanilla Ice. They keep trying to invent themselves and doing things when they really should go the Limp Bizkit route. You just keep being Fred Durst the whole fucking time, and eventually it comes full circle where people go, oh, you're a loser, but it's cool that you're a loser, so you're cool again. And then he embraces other losers like Corey Feldman and goes, look, I'm not as bad as this guy. He's opening for me and dancing around. Flava Flav doing the Flavor of Love and then dating that fucking lady from Rocky IV and all the fucking weird shit that Flava Flav has done.
Flavor Flav.
And I hate to say this, and as much as like, yeah, he was a fun hype man and an okay rapper, he really just was a guy wearing a clock. Like, his whole claim to fame is, I wore a clock. Now, if this was 1987 and it was the Olympics, or 1988, I was going to be an even year, and Flava Flav awarded a bronze clock to someone, it would be cool to everybody because everyone knew who the fuck he was. In 2024, this girl had to ask her grandfather, who just gave her a clock, and then also ask, what's a clock?
And he went, hang on a second, Jordan, let me kick it to you right quick.
And she's like, if you kick me at all, I'm calling the police.
Like, he's like, don't get it.
911's a joke. She's like, what? I don't even know what you're talking about. Like, a clock is not even a thing. Most kids can't even read a clock. It's all digital. It's your phone. So, like, the thing you are is irrelevant. Yeah, it's like I used to know a comic back when I first started in like early, so it's 25, so like late 2000, to like 2008, 2010, something like that. This comic was known as the area code guy, and you could just yell out any area code, and he'd be like, Trenton, New Jersey, whatever. And everyone's like, that's great. And then he would do a joke about that area, or something. It was like that kind of shit. No one knows area codes now because there's so many other ones, and nobody gives a fuck. And no one even knows anybody's phone number, and it's irrelevant. But that guy still goes around trying to tell jokes sometimes. It doesn't work at all. I know guys who tell jokes about VCR problems and setting the clock on it. People know what the fuck they're talking. Some people can't move on. Flava Flav can't move on. And the right place to move on is not the fucking Paris Olympics in 2024. If you're going to do that at all, if you're still alive, Wait till 2028. It's in America at least, and maybe people can embrace it a little more. Unless
more,
you're like
yeah.
Jerry Lewis, or you're like the next guy in France from here that's big. But it's Flavor Flav for even going near these people, or Olympics or security or anyone for letting him be anywhere near them.
You know, I kind of see what you're saying there, but I will say this. He gave her a clock. He still thinks it's 1988 in his head. He's done enough drugs. And if anybody's been kind of successful at reinventing themselves, it's Flavor Flav. He got to live in a house full of women. He got to marry one. He got to date the Hearts on Fire. And now he just thinks he still has a shot. He doesn't realize who he is. He's still, it's an arrested development for him. So I'm going to give him a pass here. For me, the piece of shit in the story is not the judges. They fucked up. They're supposed to fuck up. That's what judges do. It's not Simone Child's husband as much as I made the joke. It's Team USA Gymnastics for not appealing within the 1 minute thing. Come on now. You know homegirl didn't deserve that score. What are you doing? What took you so long? You're demanding the best out of your athletes, but as a coach, you can't get down there in a minute window. Fuck you. Pat.
Wow, at the end you got mad.
Yeah, it cost us a medal.
Fuck
Now,
you.
ZZ does bring up a good point. Romania does need the medal. They don't have much else going on.
I don't care.
Yeah,
Who
USA. USA.
Not even USA. He just cares about any of this. I just don't care. Like, I can't care.
I like the Flavor Flav was there. I like that he tried to give her a clock.
We're at 120. So I think it's the long weekend, everything we did. I'm okay with saying this was a fun one. Join us
Sounds good to
tomorrow.
me too,
all
buddy.
those fun things. I will be a guest on the Shitty Song of the Week podcast tonight.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if they go live. They don't go live, but it will be out there. Those are other fun guys I love being on with. I'll be doing that with them. But we'll be here tomorrow at 3:30. Thank you again so much to everyone that came out and supported the album recording. It was a really lot of fun. Thank you, comics. Thank you, all the people. Thanks to all the ones we met, stuff like that. Join the Patreon, POS Podcast Patreon. We will get up another Thursday Thoughts. We'll get back in regular rhythm now that I don't have to run to an open mic every 2 seconds. I mean, I will. I'm going to give myself about a month. I've got some ideas, but a couple ideas. Scotty, what's up? Deadpool, what's up? Sorry you guys came in so late. But hello, we always love when you're here. I'm going to start probably September. I'll just start slowly building a whole new hour again. And I would like to continue to make an album every year until I no longer have years to live. Like, I think that's kind of my thing. I just kind of like writing them. And as Bobby saw from last year to this year, I've written 2 hours of material in 2 years.
Yeah.
And it's not bad shit. You know what I mean?
No,
it proves
very
that yes, it takes a long time, but if you work on it every day and keep editing, and even down to the last weekend, all I've been doing is editing and changing and not being comfortable in like saying it's done. You know what I mean? And I think it's the most young comics that are watching. Never think the joke is done. It can always resonate more. It can always connect more. It can always be edited more. It can always be more streamlined. It can always make more sense. It can always be funnier. So just keep working on it. But it was really fun. Bobby, thank you for being part of it.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. And anything else you want to plug to the folks?
No,
Like,
for right
subscribe,
now.
please, of course.
Yeah, like, subscribe, share, and if you can't join them, make sure you beat them. And don't be a